What if the greatest love of your life didn't arrive when you were young, beautiful, and fearless, but when you were older, tired, and convinced that love had already passed you by? What if, after decades of sacrifice, heartbreak, and loneliness, two people discovered that the heart doesn't retire, and that sometimes the person who changes your entire life is standing right in front of you when you least expect it? Tonight's story is about two people who thought their best years were behind them, only to discover that the most beautiful chapter of their lives was still waiting to be written. And before we begin, if you believe that real love has no age limit, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay with us until the very end, because the final secret changes everything. Eleanor Hayes had stopped looking at herself in mirrors. It wasn't because she disliked her reflection, exactly. She simply didn't recognize the woman staring back at her anymore. At 68, Eleanor had become accustomed to seeing herself through the eyes of other people: a widow, a mother, a grandmother, a retired librarian, a woman who had done well for herself, as her neighbors liked to say. Nobody ever said the word lonely. They didn't need to. Eleanor could hear it in the silence of her house every evening. Her little blue cottage stood at the end of Willow Lane in a quiet English village where everyone knew everyone's business and most people knew Eleanor's story. Her husband, Thomas, had died 7 years earlier after a long illness. Their marriage had lasted 42 years. It had not been perfect, but Eleanor had loved him deeply. She had held his hand through hospital rooms, cooked meals he barely touched, listened to doctors use words she never wanted to understand, and sat beside him during his final night. When Thomas died, everyone told Eleanor she was strong. She hated that word. Strong was what people called you when they didn't know what else to say. Her daughter Claire lived in Manchester with her husband and 2 children. Her son Daniel had moved to America years earlier and called whenever work allowed. Her grandchildren loved her, but their lives moved too quickly for them to understand what an evening could feel like when the house became completely silent. Every morning Eleanor made tea for one. Every evening she cooked dinner for one. Every Sunday she still bought 2 slices of Victoria sponge from the bakery, because Thomas had loved it, and then she remembered he was gone. On the 7th anniversary of his death, Eleanor finally decided to throw the second slice away. She stood over the kitchen bin holding the small paper bag. Then she heard a knock at the door. 3 slow knocks. Eleanor frowned. Nobody visited without calling first. She wiped her hands on a dish towel and walked toward the front door. When she opened it, she saw a man standing on her doorstep beneath a grey August sky. He was tall, perhaps 70, with silver hair, a weathered face, and a dark green coat. He held an old cardboard box against his chest. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Then the man smiled. Eleanor Hayes. Yes, my name is William Carter. She stared at him. I know. William looked surprised. You do. My husband mentioned you. The smile disappeared from William's face. Thomas. Eleanor nodded. William lowered his eyes. I'm sorry. I should have come years ago. Why? He lifted the box slightly. Because this belonged to him. Eleanor stepped aside. Come in. William entered the cottage carefully, as though he were walking into a church. He placed the box on the dining table. Eleanor stared at it. What is it? Things Thomas left with me. Her heart tightened. You knew my husband. William gave a quiet laugh. Knew him, Eleanor. Thomas was my best friend. She sat down. For 7 years she had believed she knew everything important about her husband's life. Apparently, she had been wrong. William opened the box. Inside were photographs, letters, an old leather notebook, a brass compass, and several envelopes tied together with faded blue ribbon. Eleanor touched the top photograph. It showed Thomas as a young man, perhaps 25, standing beside William near a lake. Both men were laughing. She had never seen the photograph. Where was this? Scotland. When? 1979. Eleanor looked at William. Thomas told me he went to Scotland once for work. William smiled sadly. He went for more than work. Eleanor's eyes narrowed. What are you saying? William leaned back. I'm saying your husband was a very different man when he was young. For the next hour, William told stories Eleanor had never heard. Thomas had once dreamed of becoming a photographer. He had wanted to travel. He had planned to open a small bookshop. He had even considered leaving England for Canada. But then his father became ill. Thomas stayed. Then he met Eleanor. Then they married. Then life happened. Children, mortgages, bills, responsibilities. Dreams slowly became memories. Eleanor listened silently. When William finally stood to leave, she asked, "Why didn't Thomas ever tell me?" William paused. Because he thought there would always be time. Those words stayed with Eleanor long after William left. There would always be time. That night she opened the leather notebook. Most pages were filled with photographs, observations, sketches, and fragments of writing. Then she found a sentence written in Thomas's handwriting. "If I ever get another chance at life, I hope I'm brave enough to live it before it becomes a memory." Eleanor closed the book. For the first time in 7 years, she cried. Not because she missed Thomas. She cried because she suddenly realized how much of his life she had never known. And perhaps how much of her own life she had never lived either. The following Saturday, Eleanor went to the village market. She had not been there in years. She bought apples, flowers, and a loaf of bread. As she carried the bags toward her car, she heard a familiar voice. Careful, she turned. William was standing behind her. He caught the bag before it fell. "You again. I seem to have developed a habit." Eleanor smiled despite herself. "Do you always rescue elderly women from groceries?" "Only the particularly stubborn ones." "I am not elderly." William looked at her. No. How old are you?" 68. He smiled. "Then I'm definitely younger." She raised an eyebrow. "By how much?"